Hey, so I've been working on this next Scythe update for the last 2 months. I've also been trying to prepare to move, find an apartment and move to this apartment. So I'll be moving in about 20 days now. We just moved to this apartment just a year ago, and I thought I would be here for quite a while, but it's just been leaking, the AC barely works, and there's a giant rat that lives in our ceiling. So in about 20 days, we're moving to a place that hopefully doesn't have any of those issues. I've been trying to really focus on getting this update out so I could completely focus on packing. And this is our first time moving with our cats, so we're not really sure what to expect, but hopefully they handle it okay. I'm still unable to lift over 25 pounds from the spine surgery that I had back in November of last year, so this move should be a lot of fun. But anyways, let's get into what's new inside 0.6. So we have a new view mode now. And normally you guys would probably work in Unlit or even Lit, but now we have the shaded Unlit view, which is more in line of like what you would see in Source 2 Hammer, and I guess even the old original Hammer as well. You can get to it by clicking this up here, or you can go to the buffer visualization and clicking shaded unlit. And one of the cooler things is if you go to selection mode, it's still here. You can still get to it. So you can use this now in like all your different selection modes, not only in Scythe. So thanks to the community member Evil Reflex, he's the guy who made this material and he gave it to me to use in Scythe, and I thank him for that. Next is the coolest thing about this update, which is the clipping tool. And when I first started thinking about the clipping tool, I went into modeling mode and I was thinking what's similar that I can base this off of. And I found plane cut. And I was looking at this and I was like, okay, it kind of does what we want. It's just kind of a pain to use. You'd have to mess with your angle and stuff like that just to kind of get it to where you really need it. It would be better if you could just drag out a line and it'll just work, kind of like in Source 2 Hammer. And I initially thought I would just port it over, do a little new mechanic or gizmo or something like that just worked better and it would just work. It needed a ton of work. This was the majority of this update, this thing here. So let me show you how it works. So we're in object mode right now, and here's how you get to the clipping tool here, or you can hit Shift X as a shortcut, but I'm going to click here for now. And then here, I can just drag a line and it just works exactly where I dragged it. And I can drag this all around here like this. I can grab the line and I can edit it. So you can kind of make some interesting things here with this. You can do both sides here. So you keep both the sides, and as you move this around, you can kind of see that it is making a cut here. You can do the other side. So one side, other side. And then just like the modeling tools one, you can fill the hole or not, and so on. And then what's really cool is when you select both of them, you can edit this and do something really interesting. Like, look at that. That's pretty cool. So I could drag this over here and I could hit accept and it'll just make the model. I'll just show you. Like, it'll just create the static mesh there. Let's go back in. Let's make another one. And then if you click clip, it clips it without leaving the tool. So now we're making interesting things. And this is going to have a hotkey. I broke tool hotkeys a long time ago, so I'll get that working to where you can just hit a hotkey, bam, 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 and just make this real quick. So I accept, and look at this interesting thing that we just made. Isn't that cool? You can drag it on the ground. It'll hit other objects too. But look at that, that's doing it live. That's just so cool. And what else can you do with it? So let's go back into the clip tool. I'm gonna go from above here. I'm gonna clip that off like that. And then something that the Source 2 Hammer version didn't have was like an ability to have a third point. Because this is all it could do in Source 2 Hammer. But, and you know, you can move this around, that's fun. But I need that third point, so I just wanna cut it like this. So hold down Shift, and now you have a third point. And then you can do the other side here, and there you go. I cut that. I can make something interesting. And another thing I did was I made sure multiple meshes were supported too. So here's 4 different meshes. Go into clip mode here. I'll just drag it here, keep those 2 sides. And so those are 4 different meshes all being cut down the line like a giant scythe through the level. And another thing, this is what kind of delayed this update a little bit too. I really wanted face selection to work with the clipping tool. And so I'm just gonna select one face. You can select multiple faces, so I'm gonna just select one. And I'm gonna drag out a line here. And it only operates on this face that we had selected. So nothing else is cut. However, you do notice that there is a line that's being made here. This is just a new vertice that's being made, and it's just connecting it to this. It's getting all nice and cleaned up. So as you move this around, you'll just see like a new triangles being made, a new vertices being made, and that's what we want. So when I hit, actually I'm gonna do this for fun. I'm gonna do a split one like this because that's really cool. I do this, do a clip, and then accept it. Now we look and we see like, oh wow, it actually like stitched everything together. It's perfect. So these are properly boundary. These are all together. It made new vertices that it needed to make. Here's what the triangles look like, and that's pretty good. You know, it does what it can. You can always clean that up with the clean tool. But there you have it. Like think of all the fun things you can do with that clipping tool. Like it really opens up the possibilities to make like really interesting geometry now, like very quickly. I also just want to touch on these extra vertices here that are made in triangle mode, but they're not made in the polygroups mode here. In the old Scythe versions, if this looked like this in triangle mode, if you were in polygroup mode, and you would be seeing 2 edges here, either the measurements, sometimes you would get like a stray vertice here, and we really didn't want that. We wanted them to be beautiful like a real quad is, even though these are fake quads. And so now that's fixed. However, here's a bug that still remains. I'll mention it. If you select 2 things and you use the connect tool V, which I love using, you're going to notice that, oh, it's connecting to this little guy here instead of like the middle of this, because that's what it tries to do. It tries to connect in the middle of the edge. That's just a bug that I thought was worth mentioning. If you're a big connect head like me and you hate that though, this is what we're looking at here. This is what we want to fix. Just go into object mode, clean it. And then let's look at what we did here. And then now it should clean it up. It should. So then when we do that, now it's properly going in the center of this. So 250 and 250, 43, 49? Yeah, 43.45. 43.45. It's right in the center. That's exactly how the connect tool should work. All right, so next up is the mirror tool. It's right over here. You need some kind of selection, but you would click this or hit Shift Z or Z if you're from a distant land, and it'll make you an initial mirror plane, but I want my own, so I'm going to drag one right here, and it works very similar to the clipping tool. It's got the drag line mechanic. And I can do this, I could do this whole thing. And you notice when I'm moving this, it's actually merging into itself. And it's not overlapping and making a mesh that's just on top of the other one. This one actually, because it's a dynamic mesh and they have like really cool operators, you can just kind of move this into itself. And you can hit accept and it'll properly merge everything together. So this is ready to go. I don't even have to clean this up at all. Like, these are proper lines, these are good vertices and everything. And that's something I don't think Source 2 Hammer does. So we actually have a beat there, surprisingly. But, you know, thanks to dynamic meshes, we got some cool stuff. This is just kind of a cool thing to do. You can select a vertex here and drag it out, and you can kind of put it on more of a 45-degree angle if you wanted to. It's just really cool. Move it into itself like that, make kind of a corner thing. It's really, I don't know, I just think it's really cool. It also works with selection. So if I mirror this, make my own line here, it'll mirror just the selected faces like that. And I can do the same thing, and if I do mirror existing, it'll actually take it away. It'll take the selection away, remove that, and just mirror that. Which I don't know if there's a lot of use cases for that, but you know, it's there. And that's the mirror tool. Something I want to mention that's both cool and will crash you is, you know, if you want to do a selection with the clipping tool or the mirror tool, you can select the faces. You can also select an edge or two. So I'm going to select this edge, and when I open up the clipping tool, it's going to select this face and this face, and no others. You can also do it with a vertex. So if I select that, it's going to select this face, and this face. You get the point. However, if you select the triangle faces, it'll work in triangle faces, like this works. But if I do triangle edges or triangle vertices, and I have a selection and then I click one of these two, it's going to crash. So that's just something to know about. It's in the changelog, but I'll fix it. I just didn't want to delay this any further trying to figure that out because it was kind of weird. And another thing I've done is I've launched the official ScytheEditor.com website. This really helps me explain what Scythe is, because that was something I was really struggling with. Like, people ask me, what is Scythe? And I have to be like, do you know Source 2 Hammer? And they say no. And I have to like really explain it in like detail for them to like kind of get it. But now we have these GIFs and everything to kind of explain what it is, what you get, and why it's good. So if you have any friends that aren't really getting it, send them over to ScytheEditor.com so they can give me some money as well. And speaking of money, if you don't know, I have a Patreon for Scythe right now. Scythe will be on Fab when it's officially released, but until then, you can help support development by giving me $10, and you'll get a build of Scythe as thanks. And it really helps me out, especially in this moment where I'm trying to move to another apartment, because I'm putting a ton of time into this, and I'm not putting a ton of time into my other projects. So this is most of my income right now. And even though it's a monthly fee to support me, you don't have to stay. You can dip in and dip out as you want to grab new Scythe updates and things like that. You can keep the Scythe version that you download forever and use that commercially. And if you're not in the Discord yet, just go to ScytheEditor.com, scroll to the bottom, and click Join Discord to join our community. Lots of people who love level editors will be there. And the last thing I want to talk about is I wrote a guide for helping onboard new Scythe users. So you go here. I only have the Getting Started section right now with installation, quick start, and hotkeys, but this quick start guide should really help you out if you're just a little confused on how to really get started creating just something in Scythe. These are all the little hotkeys, all the secrets too that aren't obvious when you're playing with it, like, you know, holding shift to extrude things, holding shift and grabbing the gizmo to extrude things. Shift plus control will do push and pull and things like that. So there's everything you need to really get started here. But that's all I got for you right now. There's a few more changes in the changelog. Have a look at that below. But other than that, I'll see you guys later.